Okay, so greetings everyone. It's March 27th. Wow, number 11. A lot have been happening. Unfortunately, things weren't going well with the communications for We Heal Nations radio program on what Bay Hill News.net. The last broadcast that I tried was the 14th. However, I did March 14th. However, I did videotape it. So soon you'll get that. That was full of energy. So welcome. I'm Vohn, and I just want to let you know why I started We Heal Nations, and some of it are very, very, very sad stuff. So what happened during my life of the awakening, little step by step. I don't want to put it too long, but I can tell you that growing up in an island where it was so beautiful to just be and run around and play games with your friends and be creative with the natural stuff around you, like the breadfruit, the new what do you call, we used to create breadfruit baby with the budding of the breadfruit when it's just starting to grow and it falls off. We did so many things, fishing, diving. Didn't matter whether you were a boy or girl, your energy was what matters. And that's why everything is about energy. This is why it's important to change your frequencies and your thoughts and go back to that time. So when I was 11, we moved to Montreal, my mom, my sister, and I. Well, my mom left before, 4 years prior. So I was with my grandmother up until age 11. Because of the stresses that they put on the organic indigenous people of the land. And when I say land, I mean the earth. Okay? We are forced into economic struggles, or I should say financial struggles, because we are the true economy. The fact that we are connected to the earth, we're connected to everything, the energies, the sun, everything. We are the ecosystem. And anybody who wants to debate that, fine, but it's all over. You can research everything and you'll see. They're not going to say it outright, but you can deduce what is not being said and what is actual fact. This is enlightenment process. You know in your heart, based on certain things that people say, you can pull out what's right and what's wrong and what's true and what's false. So I've seen struggles. I've seen the pain. I've been aware of it and didn't know what to do. Even when I came to Montreal here, when I was having a little boy, I saw the infiltration in our monitoring or raising our children, where everything was put into the documents. They documented everything. Did he wear his shoes right? Did he tuck his clothes in? All these things. And I fought. I went to I went to the schools very often. I was one of the few parents who did that. They didn't like me. I was considered annoying. And I kept doing it anyway. And then it affected my son, because the labels started to affect him. And this is why it's so important for me to do this, because part of the healing is understanding that once you let go of the labels of the words and all of that for yourself, the ones that you call yourself, the things that you think you are, it's easy to let go of what people say about you. It's easy to be you, right? So when it really triggered me was I went back to St. Vincent in 2015, and it was around the election time. And there's been a lot going on in the political climate that I've noticed and recognized. And I used to call in on the radio programs there, okay? Back in the 80s, I was involved here in Montreal in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Association. So basically my experience on this planet was preparing me for this new earth, to help be the light to guide others who couldn't see yet. And, I really don't care what people think at this point, or what their thoughts are about me. But the energy that is holding us together is one, and eventually you'll come to see that, and you'll come to understand where I'm coming from, because right now there are multiple dimensions. When I say dimensions of thought of who you are, and everybody is kind of influencing the next person to trigger their own thoughts and see and use their senses, which we have more than 7, but I think it's 7. Yeah. Well, the spiritual sense is the highest. Okay, like that gut feeling that triggers emotion in you, that triggers something, a scent. Like I would get these scents when something is wrong, or if someone dies, I never knew what it was. I would get these smell, like I can't explain it. Like there's something would trigger me to think of someone, and it would be in the end either someone related to that person or whatever. But I know a lot of you have these different senses that you pick up within the environment. So I'm going from one place to the other, but it's all going to make sense when I'm finished. So I was in the islands, and I was involved in different things. There were, I don't even want to mention the name, but in terms of bringing the people out of the strife and the struggles, with the political party system, really it's one of the same. And a lot of people were so into it and they couldn't see it. Now, thank God, a lot of people are seeing it now, especially in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what I started was just talking and showing and researching things and showing people what I found. Like when the project with the so-called airport, I found a lot of projects with airport that they just did really for money laundering. And I shared it. Okay. Any project in the Caribbean, really. And then the churches that were coming in, and, the so-called soul savers, and how many fundraisers they've having and all of that. When I saw, since I was a young one, like, 6, 7, I've heard about these multi-million fundraisers that they raise, and still they're not able to solve this problem. They claim there are these problems of people starving and so forth. But folks, if you think about it, right? If you really think about it, I'm just going to pull up something here. I have to pull up something. If you really think about it, right? Every land that has these people have an ability to grow food in that area that they need. So somebody is doing something on purpose to make places drier than it should be. Basically, the planet was put off balance, and the people as well, if you think about it. So before I go on, I just wanna explain something, right? The definition of the United States of America. It says country, a federal republic, just remember that term. In North America, it says in North America, right? Bordering on the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic Oceans. Capital, Washington area. It's 3,796,742 square miles. 9,833,517 square kilometers. Population is 329,256 329,256 329,256,000, right? Now that doesn't make sense because it specifically said it's in America, but it seems like the popular and it gives you the square capital of Washington. So like I'm pulling this out to say how words are kind of are spells, and you really have to detach from things and think for yourself. That's what one of the thing. It says a native or inhabitant of the United States of America is usually referred to as an American. Terms that are used infrequently or in special contexts include Colombian and United Statesmen. While Yankee is sometimes used by people from other countries. Okay, I'm going to go back to that in another thing because people are very, very, very confused. And part of We Heal Nations is to bring the truth so that you can heal yourself and take away those spells. Okay, basically, end the generational curses, and it all starts with the pen and paper and the documents and the hospitals, etc., birth certificate, all those things. Not everybody is aware, so when I started again, I had quite a bit of knowledge of it, but I went deeper, honey. I went deeper. So when I was in St. Vincent, my cousin was murdered. She was older. She's 10 years older than me. At the time, she was 10 years older than me, which was in 2020. No, I came back 2017. I think it was in 2017 that it happened. Anyway, I found her body, and later on, my aunt had wanted me to have this property. Now, I didn't mind whether I have it or not. It doesn't matter. But the idea that I had, because she loved it so much, and the reason why she loved it, she told me, was that it was so fertile. It's volcanic soil, so anything she planted grew there. She had avocado trees, all kinds of trees there, and she told me of something that happened to her one time. She was trying to burn because it's so fertile. The vegetation keeps growing really fast. The weeds, everything, it grows really fast. So she was trying to control that, and by trimming and burning the stuff. But I don't think she understood the method to do that. And I learned later what is the best method to do that. And somehow there was a fire that caught and was spreading so fast, and she was in danger. And she told me she fell into this ditch, and she was just praying that God, somebody send somebody. And there was a neighbor that she had problems with, she told me. He saw and did nothing, didn't call him, did not move. Okay? Anyway, in that prayer, the same cousin that I found, she was there and she was praying too. And all of a sudden, a cloud came over and it started to rain just in that area, folks, and put out the fire. Okay? She reached her heart vibration to the point where her ancestors, everybody was with her. And she was always that kind of woman anyway, that she was connected. She was always connected to the universe, the earth, whatever. So she was protected. She died during the pandemic or after this pandemic situation. And I'll always remember that story. And I feel like she's with me every time with this. So I decided that if I do get the property, I would call it Beryl's Retreat. And it would be about healing women. Because my cousin was alone most of the time. She has children. She has brothers and sisters. But she was going through her own way of managing all the stresses of life that comes to us, right? And she was managing in her own way. I don't want to go into detail. She was managing, and she's a beautiful, beautiful spirit. She was a beautiful spirit. She's still around. I know that. And so the thing with, I thought, and she used to call me all the time. She felt like she was threatened and all of that. But when that happened, that's when I decided, we need this. The woman of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the woman extended to the world needs some place that they can go and heal together and share their energies of love. And I just felt that was what was going to happen. And this was, in 2017, this happened. So, I kept pushing the idea, writing down what I see it should be, and basically going back to what was. When my aunt spoke to me, she always spoke about the garden, not the Garden of Eden in the way that people think of it, of what is told in the story, but in providing for health and wellness, the food from it, the nourishment. When you touch the soil, and she even told me when she came back from England and she wanted to do that, and she started to grow her own gardens, the woman used to laugh at her because they thought that was beneath them to touch the soil and do gardening and stuff like that. It was beneath them. And somebody who came back from England, look at what she's doing, So that's part of the healing too. People need to understand that everybody came for a purpose. Okay? You came for a purpose. We're all energy from the one source. And a lot of the things that were taught to us, like church and school, has dumbed us down and made us forget who we are. That we are the part of the Creator. We are the creators. Without us touching the soil and doing the thing and generating the positive energy and the good energy of love and enlightenment, there is no there's no ecosystem, right? So hence the We Heal Nations. And I have big, 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 big ideas regarding that. Big ideas. Big ideas. And I'm asking you, when you see the videos on YouTube, I have We Heal Nations. It's coming along because right now I'm a grandmother and I'm the only one doing this. But I know I have people who already I spoke with, they're in. And the support is coming, and I'm patient with it. And I always think now it is divine timing. I'm not anxious for anything. Like I used to be very anxious, like hurry up, like impatient, very impatient. I could say sometimes I am, but it's not an impatient. I think it's more like a frustration of things. So I just wanted to explain to you and welcome you to We Heal Nations. And I've been through a lot, but I'm just going to do little segments like this. I don't want them to be more than 20 minutes. So that's why I'm checking the time. And because it's hard to have people to use an hour or 2 hours to sit and listen to something. So I respect that, and I honor you and what you're doing and on your level of understanding. And all I want is to have you feel comfortable and you understand what's coming. And listen, big things are coming. Big change is coming. We're on the cusp of this huge overhaul of the financial system. So everybody will be in abundance. Get rid of the thoughts of lack in your mind. You lack nothing. You have the ability to have everything when you think about it. We're going in an energy where it's a leap. So you say quantum leap, because if you keep vibrating a higher and you think about what is needed around you, it will happen. Peace and love, folks. Thank you for joining me.